I had given an example of lost time, and it's not the only example I have of lost time with them. I had a car accident in 2007, and I had an extremely bad concussion because I was T-boned. So I was in a great deal of pain. I had whiplash down one side of my body, and I spent several days at my parents' house recovering. The clan were coming in to the house and checking in on me at my mother's house. So that was very awkward for them. But that was one thing that they never interfered with in my life. They knew that I had interactions, and the patriarch of my clan made it very, very clear to both of them that he takes care of me, and they were to leave that part of my life alone. And so they did. So I did have a healer come into the home and was checking on me through the first couple nights, and then I went on home. And I had a lot of pain, so I had muscle relaxers. And the only problem with the muscle relaxers was that I was having really bad reactions to them, and they were making me throw up. And I can't remember what they were, but they were terrible. So I took one morning, and I went to work. And by the time I got to work, I was throwing up. And I was just having a really rough morning. Well, one of my coworkers told on me, and my boss sent me home. My drive was 45 minutes. I was dehydrated. I was really sick. And I had to pull over several times on the way home and vomit. And I got to my clan's territory, which was by a very small river. And I stopped at a pull-in where there was a trail, and I got out really fast and I ran down the trail, which was a bit hard to do because I was in high heels and a dress, actually, because I work in an office, and I have not office casual, it's office dress. So I went down this trail out of view of traffic because I didn't want to throw up and have people see me. And it was hot. It was summertime, and I was just overheated, but also having cold sweats, and I passed out. I woke up sometime later, an hour later, maybe 2 hours. And I was on a gravel bar in the middle of the river, and I was in my slip. It was a full slip, and my clothes were neatly folded next to me, and my shoes were on top of the pile, and my feet were in the water. The thing about the water is it's spring-fed, and the water is very healing. It has an amazing healing property to it. When I was pregnant, I filtered and drank the water, and it helped me with morning sickness. It also helps with emotional and spiritual ailments. When I'm sad or angry or anything like that, I can go to the river and it'll heal. The thing is, you have to give it something back. So I was told by the clan to give it my pain or give it my illness, and it would transmute it and give you healing in return. So the thing is with that area is it draws people, and people get stuck there. It's like, I think the spirit of that place, it feeds on their pain, but it's one-sided. So if the people like aren't there or whatever, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it's a special place. So anyway, I woke up and I was fine. I wasn't throwing up anymore. I was a little tired, but I felt pretty rejuvenated. I was about a mile downstream from my car, so I didn't quite know how to get back. I didn't know where the trail ended there. It wasn't a trail I was really familiar with, but I knew the river, so I put my clothes back on and I picked my way up the river. It was shallow enough where I could just walk. And then I found a place where I was familiar with, and I was able to make it back to my car. So that was an interesting experience. I don't know who helped me, but I was helped another time there, almost in the same spot. It was maybe later that year, or a year or two later, that I went there in the summertime as well, just to swim and have a day to myself. I had taken off work, and there was a little bit of a pool with moss on the rocks, and it was just a very ideal place to sit and just really relax. It was so peaceful. Behind me there were bamboo reeds, and they were really tall and it was really thick. And so I was there for maybe an hour and just really enjoying my day. It was perfect weather, not windy or anything. And then I heard four-wheelers. And it was two guys on four-wheelers, and they rode behind me on the bank, and it made me feel really nervous. They stopped a ways down, and they were like looking at me, and it was just the gut feeling that they were not up to any good. I was a female out in the middle of the boonies, and I was wearing a bikini, and I didn't know, but one of my clan people were actually there, really close behind me. I had no clue. I definitely didn't have the sense of being stared at that day. They were just giving me my privacy. But he signaled me, get up and come to me, run now. And almost as soon as he gave me that order, the guys started up their four-wheelers and started back. I just picked up my shoes and ran into the woods. And he just said to follow him. And I did. I had no idea how to, get back, without the trail. And he was shaking the bamboo, and so I was following the shaking bamboo. And it was strange because I couldn't see him. He was too far ahead of me. And he was being quiet, like with his footsteps and stuff, but he was like just shaking the tops of the bamboo. So I was able to follow him. It didn't take very long, like maybe 20 minutes of going through this huge thicket of bamboo before I made it back to the trail. He was nowhere to be seen, and I was really close to the car, but it was one of the big lessons for me as a young woman to be careful where I went, and it instilled the lesson that our kind are dangerous, just as much as some of their kind are dangerous. I didn't go back down there alone, and I always let them know where I was going to be. It was another layer of safety. And anytime I go to the river, one of them is watching. I always let them know that I'm going to be where I go, whether it's hiking or camping or swimming or anything. The world is a dangerous, dangerous place. There's a lot of horrible people out there. They're not exempt from that, and I want to make that very clear. A lot of people have the idea that they're big, huggable teddy bears. They're not. Yes, when you form a relationship with them, you're safe with them. When you're not under their watchful eye and others know about you, you're very much at risk. When you're in a rogue's area, you're at risk. When there's ones that take women, you're at risk. When they're being territorial, you're at risk. I can't impress upon people enough to take every single encounter as being unique to the individual that you're dealing with and the situation that you're in. They are not all loving and kind. The ones I know are not even all loving and kind. Some are still very standoffish with me. They don't like our kind. They've made that very clear. They don't like our kind. I am an exception of policy with them.